Now, y'all know we only got a few more days till TikTok is banned, and I was sent a video of a 22-year-old that had over $100,000 in debt. Before they banned TikTok, let's see what's going on.
I'm 22 years old and I have $37,515 worth of credit debt. I also have a $7,992 student loan. I also still owe $55,829 on my car.
Now, I'm not the best with doing math in my head, but I think we're already over $100,000.
In total, I have about $100,000 worth of debt. If you're anything like me, you haven't made any credit card payments in over 6 months.
I hope nobody is like her and not making any credit card payments for 6 months. That is really scary. There will be people looking for you. You will be getting phone calls. The banks, whoever you got the loans from, they want their money. That's scary. I hope no one's doing that.
You have creditors calling you every single day.
Yeah.
And you're feeling hopeless.
That's what I was thinking.
But don't stress out. There's an answer to everything, and you'll get through this. I'll get through this. We'll get through this together.
I like the positivity, but the other thing we have to think about is you will get through it, but you do need a plan. That's the only way you're going to get through it and get past it. Some people end up just being in this cycle for too long because they don't have a plan. They don't have a budget. They don't have any idea of how it's going to get taken care of. And that will be your first step, is having a plan and following through with the plan.
As of today, my credit score is a 498. So join me on this journey to pay off my debts. We'll see how high I can get my credit score.
She has a $55,000 car. I want to know what type of car it is. What was the APR? I have a lot of questions because that is ridiculous. The other really unfortunate thing about having such a low credit score that I think a lot of people don't think about is sometimes this even affects your utility bills. A lot of times if you have a good enough credit score, you don't have to pay deposits and things of that sort. But if it's that low, sometimes they do require these sort of things. And then it also might limit your options of where you can live. A lot of landlords will look at your credit score and your credit history, and you want to get it as high as you can, but she is still young, so hopefully she's able to get that bumped up. You definitely don't want to wait till you're older to start worrying about your credit score, and luckily she's not. She's trying to get a handle of it right now. But if you wait till like you're 30 and stuff like that, you might be wanting to get a house or get more cars or pull out a loan for whatever reason. It might be harder to do.
I'm also not here to give financial advice, obviously. I'd probably be the worst person for that, but
yeah, I'm not here to give financial advice either. This is just a conversation.
I'm 22 years old and I have $24,577 worth of credit debt. I know that seems like a big number, but once it's broken down into monthly payments, I'm literally only going to be paying about $1,700 a month.
If she's able to pay $1,700 a month and afford her living expenses, she must be making a lot of money, because for most people, they wouldn't even be able to do that.
Not going to file for bankruptcy for only $24,000 worth of credit debt.
Why did she keep leaving out the car? The car was like $55,000 and I still want to know what type of car it is. I hope she says. Do people not include car loans as part of debt anymore? Like, I'm a little confused.
I do have a job, guys. I work. So I'll be making about like $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
Oh, okay. $3,000 to $4,000. Okay.
I am also still in school, trying to finish my degree. So pray for me.
What's it in?
But yeah, I mean, I feel like being in credit debt is pretty normal for most Americans.
Definitely. I don't think it should be. I think we've normalized in Western society and culture, we have normalized debt because so many people we know have debt, but debt in itself is not quote unquote normal. I don't think it's normal. I don't think it should ever be taught to be normal, or just something that's like, oh, everybody's in debt. Everybody is not in debt. The people who are in debt don't want to be in debt, and then they're in a cycle of trying to get out of the debt, which is why you don't want to ever be in the debt cycle that a lot of people are in. Having debt is stressful. A lot of people literally feel like they cannot breathe. They cannot even miss a day of work because they are so worried about their debt and trying to repay loans and credit cards and Klarna and Afterpay and all sorts of stuff. So it's essentially like saying like this level of stress is just normal and it's just what it is, when this can be avoided. In a lot of cases with people that you may even know, a lot of the debt that people are in is not because it's something that was a dire need. A lot of the stuff is just wants. Like, I'm curious to know again, what was the car? Because it's $55,000. That's not a normal car in my opinion. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? You could either get things you need or you can get the thing you want and need, and then you can bump up your debt, or you can, like, I don't know, go on some trips, like get some new furniture and all these different things. And you may say these things are needs, but really they are wants, and they're high ticket priced once that keep you in the debt cycle, i.e. keeping you at work, keeping you working a job, keeping you constantly trying to figure out where you're going to get more money because now you have to pay more debt. Definitely not normal, but are a lot of people in debt? Absolutely.
I don't know. It doesn't, yeah, it stresses me out, but like not that much, guys. Honestly, I'm more stressed out about like why the man I'm seeing stopped talking to me.
I know I had to have heard something because she did not say she's more stressed out about a man. If it were me, I wouldn't be worried about no man because unless he finna come pay all this debt, what do you mean you're more stressed out about him not talking to you than your debt? Who is gonna pay this debt off? Because that is a lot of money. Symone, trying to keep you out of debt. Hit subscribe because it's free. The last thing I'd probably be worrying about is a man not talking to me. With that much debt, I'd probably just be like, I need to get me like 2 side hustles. I need to work my full-time job and then clock in for overtime. I just probably wouldn't care about nothing else because that's where I think my full attention and mind would be at. It's just like swimming in all of that debt and wanting to get out of the pool.
I'm more stressed out about turning in my assignments on time. Like, I don't know. Money comes and goes. It'll come back to me. I'll be okay. Everybody has to relax. I'm about to sell my TV, my couch. That'll be like $3,000 right there, so.
Did she just tell us to relax? I'm glad that she's selling stuff in order to get the money, though. That is a good thing. That is another good place to start whenever you're trying to figure out where to get money. Like, look around the house, y'all. A lot of people got things just laying around that you can sell. Sell it and pay off that debt.
$20,000 is not that much money.
It ain't.
I'll be the first to say that I am very privileged. I know that a lot of people are born not as privileged as me. I also recognize my privilege of being a white girl. White privilege is a thing. I know I have it easier than most people do.
Wasn't expecting that.
I come from immigrant parents. They moved to America when they were about 18 and started their own business. They worked their booties off. They provided a really good life for me.
That's good.
I'm not ashamed to admit that my parents pay my rent.
Her parents pay her rent. That's why she's able to afford. I think she said like $1,700 she's going to be putting towards her debt. That's why she's able to do it. Most people would not be able to allocate that sort of money going to debt repayments unless they were making extremely a lot of money or they had help. And in her case, she has help. I knew it. I knew something was up because I was like, 22, you gonna be able to do all that? All right. And that's really a blessing that she has help from her parents with her rent because most people I know, like, when they're 18, it's like you're on your own. You got to figure out everything. This is like welcome to the real world. And it's good that she has the help of her parents. That's really a blessing. I would just hope that anybody in that situation is not taking advantage of the fact and understanding how you can really get ahead if you have help from your parents. A lot of people don't have that. They wish they had that. Somebody paying my rent and I'm 22 probably would have never joined the army. I don't know. And then you also got to think if you don't have a lot of debt, you could be stacking up that money and putting it into a brokerage account, into a savings account or high yield savings account, into investments. Maybe you can even save up in order to get down payment money for a home or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is that you want to use your money to invest into, you would have more money if, of course, she didn't have the debt. But these are just things to think about because rent in the United States is high.
So just saying this because I want to be completely transparent with you guys. The deal I have with them is if I stay in school, then they will be paying my rent.
Wow.
I understand a lot of people, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But it is like that for me. And just because my parents do help me out with rent, it doesn't mean that it is easy for them to help with rent. I understand that is a really privileged way to live. My parents definitely didn't teach me money management skills growing up, but they did teach me to work hard.
Okay.
So I work hard. There is about $1,200 of cash in here that I've been saving. I am good as of right now for my first installment of my credit debt payment.
I was trying to understand why she told us that she has a stash of money in the bag. I just don't think that everything needs to be shared. Like, as far as, like, that's good she has it. I'm glad that she's, taking the steps. But to say that on camera, like, yeah, I just got this big old lick of cash just in here with me. I just am like, girl, there might be somewhere safer. Like, let's put it in the bank account or something. But yeah, I'd be a little too worried somebody might try to come get that. But y'all let me know if I'm wrong. I know some people's relatives quite literally got a shoebox full of money or they keep it under a mattress or something like that. They don't even believe in banks.
I'm 22 years old and I have over $24,000 worth of credit debt. In the digital age that we're living through right now, there is so much money to be made on the internet.
Yeah.
At the age of 18, I was already making money off the internet. I definitely made well over $100,000 my first year being on the internet, but
that is not normal.
I also paid so much money in taxes. I think like in total, the 3 years that I was on the internet, I paid around $30,000 to $40,000 worth of taxes. From my understanding, people who think that my debt is unmanageable have never made a lot of money in their life, and that is okay. But in trust, I agree with you guys. My credit debt is due to irresponsible decisions, living above my means, and just poor money management skills. But if there is anything I learned from this situation, it's money management skills. I will never be putting myself in a situation like this again. My plan is to start a Roth IRA account, save a bunch of money. I want to start my own clothing brand. So I'm glad that I had this whole debacle at the age of 22 years old, because I still have so many years left to live, and I learned so much.
She brought up a great point here. It's better to make these mistakes when you're younger. She got a lot more time to recover. People in their 30s and 40s not being financially responsible or understanding how to manage money, that can be like make or break, because at this point, our bodies, I say our because I'm almost 32, our bodies start breaking down. We're tired. We're not able to do the stuff we was able to do a decade ago. Man, it was some good times though. And the reason I bring that up is because generally when people are younger, they got a lot more energy. They have a lot less injuries. Their health is just generally better than someone in their 30s. So when you start getting older and your body starts getting tired, you're not able to keep up like how you were when you were 22. People were getting that overtime money and they were like, oh, I could just clock in overtime and go get that money, blah, blah. And you start getting into your late 20s and then now you're starting to get tired and now you need a nap. So if these are the effects at 30 or 32, what are the effects going to be looking like at 40 or 50 if you're not prepared? It's going to be harder to bounce back, because if your only means of making money is to clock in, you might have to find another way to make money because your body is quite literally breaking down. It's like what it is. And that's why I like to stress how important that is. She is 22. She can bounce back as long as her health allows her. But unfortunately, a lot of people fall into the same traps that she fell into when she was younger. They get a car. The car is one of the biggest things that you can get when you're like 20, 19, whatever the case may be. That's going to put you in the most amount of debt, in my opinion, because most people at that point don't even have a home. And so they go out and they get a car, and then the car is stupid expensive. And they have a high APR. And then sometimes they don't even pick the cars that are best for them as far as what would be good for maintenance. And then a lot of these cars end up just being junk, or they get in wrecks and then things like that. And then it just ends up just being something that drains you and drains your pockets. And you really probably didn't have the money to spend on it like that anyway. But in her case, she said she was making 6 figures, which is really good for her to be so young. She's making it online. I want to know how she was making the money online. 6 figures? I'm wondering, did she have some sort of affiliate marketing going on? Was she a YouTuber? Was she a TikToker? Like, I'm just curious.
I have a lot of credit card debt. But the good news is I chose debt settlement, so my creditors reduced the amount I owe by taking away all interest charges.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday I had my first debt settlement payment and I did it on time, so I am that much closer to being out of credit card debt.
Oh, that's good.
How was I able to come up with $1,600 in a couple weeks? I just got another job. And I also got promoted at work from being a hostess to being a server, so I'm getting that tip money now, so it makes it a lot easier.
See, that is exactly what you need to do. A lot of people say, how am I supposed to get out of debt if I don't make enough money? The thing is exactly what she just said. You got to make more money. There's only a few ways for this to happen. You either are going to have to cut back on how much money you're spending on your living expenses, maybe downsize your life, find a way to cut back on how much money you're putting towards all of your bills, your rent, all of your food, everything, and then try to make it work with what you got left over. Or what I see most people do is just get a side hustle, get a side gig, get a side job, something like maybe even get 2 jobs. Some people got 3 jobs. And I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I want that for anybody. I am saying that is what a lot of people do in order to get out of debt, in order to get more money. Just a few examples of things that people do to get out of debt. Here are just a few ways that I know of off top that you can do in order to get some money on the side. You can do DoorDash. That's where you're delivering people's food, or you can do like food delivery services. Like I did like 3 at once. And the reason I did it when I did was because there was something I was trying to achieve within a certain time frame, and I just simply needed more money, and I already was budgeting so much, but I needed it faster. So I hit the streets, I got in my car, and I was delivering food. Another thing you can do is do Instacart, and that's where you go shopping for people and you deliver their groceries. There's an app called Rover app. A lot of dog lovers or cat lovers, animal animal lovers, they like to get on there and they'll offer their services to dog sit or to cat sit or to just even take animals for walks while the owners are at work. That is like one of my favorite ones that I think I would probably like to do because I like dogs. And even if you're trying to get your dog boarded, I've even seen on there that there are people that will board your dog for like $10, $30, whatever the case may be. There's also Amazon Flex where you can be delivering people's Amazon packages to their house. And I believe this is on a flexible schedule, so you can kind of work around what you got going on. There are a lot of different options. Like I know people that cut hair, I know people that braid hair, I know people that do all sorts, like do lashes, whatever it is that you can think of. Y'all got to get creative out here. There are people doing affiliate marketing online. There are YouTube, like people got YouTube channels, people got TikToks. So however it is you need to make the extra money, figure out your way. Clearly she found a way that worked well for her and I'm glad. Or you can just work overtime at your job. Like that's always an option too.
Yes, it does blow not being able to save this money and put it into a Roth IRA account. Like I would love to start a savings account, but to me, just paying off this debt is so much more important. And I'm glad I finally am tackling this thing because it's been hanging over my head for so long. I'm 22 years old and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. I have about $24,000 worth of credit card debt, about $55,000 left on my car loan, and I also have a $7,900 student loan. I also have a lot of questions being like, why would you get a expensive car when you're already in debt? Obviously, I didn't get approved for the car loan while I was in debt. I bought the car before all of my credit card debt, when I had a really good credit score, when I had a bunch of money getting deposited into my bank account. There's no way I would have been approved for a $100,000 car loan in this situation that I am now.
She said I got approved for a $100,000 car loan, but that doesn't mean that that's how much it cost. But was it? Or ma'am, I want to know so bad what type of car this is.
If I can go back in time and just buy like a Tesla in cash, 100% do that. But yeah, there's not much I can do right now about it.
That's one of the highest car notes I've ever heard. And that's just, oh, it just makes me sick. I almost want to,
I'm 22 years old and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. And here is a breakdown of all my monthly expenses. This is my debt settlement agreement with Apple Card. So every single month I'll be paying $509.
It says her remaining balance that she has to pay is $8,654.19.
For my Chase card, I owe $1,126 every single month. My most important payment, other than my Chase and Apple Card, is my monthly car payment. I know.
Oh my gosh, she just said that she was paying $1,100 to the last thing. She was already paying like $500 for the thing before. These are monthly payments, y'all. That's why I'm talking about it. And this is the car note, $1,377.90 a month. I'm sick. This really kind of made my heart sink because this just sounds like such a large amount of monthly payments that I'm just like, girl, where's the leftovers? Like, I know she said her parents are paying, which she is so blessed that they are helping out with her rent because there would be nothing left over.
This is a huge number.
Yes.
It scares me too. And on top of that car payment, I also have to pay $547 for my car insurance.
That wasn't even with the car insurance. There's another. She's paying over $2,000 a month just for the vehicle. Do you know that some people pay that in their rent or don't even pay that in their rent? This is how much some people pay for their mortgage. And she's paying this for a car at 22. She is so lucky and so blessed in order to have parents that will help her with her rent because this would be such a bad situation if it were not for them. If it wasn't for her parents helping out, I'd be like, I don't know. She might need to go see Caleb Hammer. She might need to go talk to Dave Ramsey. She might need to go, I don't know. She need to talk to somebody who's a specialist at money because I'm not a specialist at money. I just give my commentary. But y'all, this is really bad. This is whoa.
Here's my Discover card balance. I'm honestly not really worried about this one.
Okay, so this is the balance to pay off. So this isn't a monthly payment, but still this, oh my gosh.
My minimum payment is $65 every month, but I'm trying to pay it off as much as I can, so I'll probably be putting $200 a month towards this one.
Right.
I also have to pay $105 for my student loan.
She got student loans, but I'm assuming her parents are probably paying her student loans. I don't know. For all the people that have financial help from their parents or a relative or somebody, it's just something to be grateful for because the amount of difference it makes than you having to come up with all this money yourself, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do it.
According to my calculations, I need to make about $3,800 a month to stay on top of these bills. Now, I'm not here to give financial advice, clearly, because I put myself in this pickle. But if I have any other advice, don't let the anxiety of like looking at your bank account, looking at your bills to like stop you from creating a plan. Financial stress is so hard to deal with, but the best thing you can do for yourself is to create a plan. I can't even begin to explain how much better I feel now that I have a plan, now that I know how much exactly I owe. I finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, maybe like a little glimmer. But yeah, everything's gonna be okay.
I really am wishing her the best, but she is absolutely right. You have to have a plan, but not just that. A lot of people think having the plan is enough. It's not. You need to have a plan and execute the plan. You can't just have the plan. Like, for example, a lot of people say, I want to lose weight. They come up with a plan. They don't follow the plan. Do they lose weight? No. Same thing is going to go whenever you're trying to attack your financial goals. You're going to set the plan. You need to stick to the plan. And a lot of the time in the plan is a budget. A lot of the time in the plan, you might have to get an extra job or find some more income. That's going to be part of some people's plans. Everybody's plan is going to be different depending on what they need, what goals they're trying to achieve. Now, a plan is a great thing to have, but the execution is just as important in my opinion, because how are you going to get there if you don't do that?
I'm 22 years old and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. $55,000 of that debt is towards my car loan. So this is the car in all of its glory. It's a 2022 Ford Bronco. Love this car. The top comes off. Don't you just love capitalism so much?
Wait, I promise you, I was thinking in my head, I bet it's a Bronco. I don't know if y'all remember, I did that Christmas wish list video where people were like giving their dream cars. In that video, I kept hearing people say they wanted a Bronco, a Bronco, a Bronco. I'm like, dang, these cars are expensive. And what do you know? She has the very car that a lot of those people on the wish list were talking about they wanted as their dream car. What is up with the Broncos, y'all? I didn't even know that was a thing. I honestly never really heard of it like that. I'm not really a car person. I drive a Toyota. But those cars seem very expensive and I don't even understand the hype. Is it supposed to be like a Hummer? I don't understand it because I'm not a car enthusiast. Do people that get these cars like to go off-roading or something? What is the use? Because I just think a lot of people just get it because it looks like a Jeep maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Interest rate on my loan is about 10%. I have no idea what that means, nor do I care, honestly.
Oh, why don't she care? See, the interest rate is going to affect your monthly payment. But, I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, I've seen people that had a 23%, 25% maybe. I want to say it was a 23. I don't think I've seen 25. But even that is ridiculous. And maybe she didn't have a cosigner. I don't think 10 is the worst, but it's not amazing either.
I'm already in this hole. Might as well sit in it, you know? I was making a lot of money off the internet. I had a good credit score. I had a lot of monthly income, so I got approved for a large car loan, and I decided to buy this car. Do I look absolutely good driving this car? Yes, I do.
We don't care. I'm sorry. Nobody cares. What is the thing about how people look in the car? I've literally heard people be like, they see me when I'm pulling up. They see me riding clean. They see I'm sitting high. Nobody's going to help you pay these car payments. I don't understand the hype behind going into debt about how you look in a car that is meant to get you from point A to point B. The car is not made for all this other stuff that we've made it about. We've made car status symbols. Y'all, I don't care if it's a bike. If it's getting you from where you need to get to at the time you need to get to, what is the problem? Like, we talking about, oh, look how I'm looking. We need to be less concerned about how things look to other people and what we look like to other people and be more concerned about what it is. And what this car is a money pit. What a lot of people's cars are money pits. They are things that are going to stop you from obtaining the freedom you really want. As you can see, and I say this in the nicest way, this is no attack towards this creator. She is very brave for sharing her story, but I see a lot of people get high-priced cars at very young ages, and it sets them back, in my opinion. I think you just set yourself back about 5-10 years because that same money that you're putting towards a payment, paying back the bank over a car that is a depreciating asset, you could have put that money towards your investments and then had to work less towards your future. Like, I don't understand what the thing is about how we're riding, and a lot of these cars, unfortunately, they don't even last 10 years. And especially with the younger people, they end up crashing the cars or something like that ends up happening to where it wasn't even worth it. But there is a thing called gap insurance. And if you have that, essentially, like, let's just use this example. She owes $55,000. Let's say that she paid so far $20,000. Well, what gap insurance will do is cover $20,000 between the rest of the $55,000 that she owes, and they will cover the cost of her car, so then she won't have to be in debt about a car that ended up getting wrecked and that she doesn't have anymore. And the reason I know about this is because in the military, a lot of soldiers would go get that Camaro, and they was only 18 or they're about 21, however old they were, and they would have these high interest rates, and then they would wreck the cars. And then some of them did not get the gap insurance, and then they would be crying that they had to pay off the rest of the car, and then they still needed to go get another car. So now you have essentially like 2 car notes that you're paying because you didn't get gap insurance, which would have covered you in the event something like that happened. Y'all do your own research on gap insurance. It's something that I definitely recommend for people that have really new expensive cars. Nobody really cares what you're driving. As long as you can get to where you need to get to, that's all that really should matter.
That is not the reason why I bought this car. I bought this car to look cool, to impress people, and that's simply not true. I bought this car because it's been my dream car forever, and I finally had the means to buy it. Was it my best financial decision? No, obviously not, but I'm definitely going to be driving this car forever. I can see my kids learning how to drive in this car. The downside to this car though, I spend a lot of money on gas. Probably spend like $120, $130 every single week. I'm not getting rid of it. I already put so much money into the car that it does not make sense for me to sell it. If I did sell it, I would only sell it for less than what's remaining on my car loan. I know you guys hate to see a young girl drive a nice car, but at the end of the day, I bought this car all by myself with no co-signers, no help from my parents. You live and you learn, okay?
When people say I bought this car and they're still trying to actively pay it, the car is not yours yet. You don't have the title to the car yet. Hopefully, she's able to pay it off in full, and then she can be the rightful owner of the car. Her bringing up the fact that a lot of people may have some sort of feelings about her being in this car because she's young or whatever the case may be, I also would like to point out something that I think is kind of interesting about that perspective. We now know that she is in a lot of debt. So imagine just pulling up in a car and being jealous of somebody that you see is young and she's in this car and you think everything is fine, right? But you don't even know that she is quite literally on TikTok telling everyone, hey, I'm $100,000 in debt. My parents are paying my rent. I'm having to do all these things to try to get this debt taken care of. This lady is not, I'm not trying to say in a mean way, she is not able to take care of herself and get out of the debt. So imagine just being a person that didn't know her situation, being jealous of her. And I'm not saying this to be judgmental of her. I'm just saying this is something that a lot of people would do. They would be jealous of her because they see her in this car. Meanwhile, what did we just learn? This is why it's important to not be envious and jealous of the next person, because you truly never know what people are experiencing, what they're having to go through in order to have the things that they have. And this is why it's best to not compare.
I'm 22 years old and have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. $55,000 of that is towards my car loan. But this is why I literally can't sell the car. Okay, so I still owe about $53,000 on the car. I tried Googling a similar model, but I can't find it anywhere. This is the closest thing I found, and it's only selling for $39,000. My car has a little bit more modifications than this one, so let's just say I can sell the car for $39,000. That means I would have to pay the bank about $11,000 just to get rid of the car. I think
So essentially, it kind of sounds like her car depreciated in value in the car market, which likely means she bought the car when it was extremely expensive, and now cars are not as expensive, and now on the market, you can get the same car for way cheaper, and also it probably depreciated a lot since she bought it. This happens to a lot of people, and then when they try to sell their car, they're not able to sell the car, or then they have to sell it for a loss, because as she said, she would have to sell it for $11,000 less than what she owes back to the bank. So then she still needs to pay the bank $11,000.
term for the situation is being upside down on a car.
Yeah.
On top of that, I would have to find a new car. Let's say I find a car for $5,000. That car is only going to last me like 2 to 5 years until I have to buy another car for another $5,000. So at this point, like, I should just pay off the car loan.
The car loan is really expensive though. It's not like a normal car loan in her case. $55,000. Most people that are upside down, they're upside down for a lot less that they owe on a car, but she owes such a great amount. I don't know. I think she should definitely talk to a specialist, somebody that's good at money, because that situation is crazy. I think people can still get good cars out there right now, probably way less than $55,000. Even paying the bank back $11,000 might not be that bad compared to paying that whole $55,000 with
What do
the
you guys
interest.
think? I don't know how refinancing a car works. I would love to refinance it. I've had like 2 missed payments before. I'm all caught up now, and my credit score is a 513 right now. Obviously, I learned my lesson with this thing. I'm never gonna buy another car again.
But see, the thing is, she might have to buy another car, and I hope she has gap insurance. Like, I really hope she has the gap insurance.
I'm 22 years old and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. $24,000 of that is towards my credit card debt. I did choose debt settlement, so my credit card debt went from $37,000 to $24,000. I'm not getting charged interest on any of my credit card debt anymore because I chose debt settlement. Yes, this is going to stay on my credit record for 7 years, but I feel like that's better than declaring bankruptcy. I would go out to the bars and spend like $200. Nobu 3 times a week. Always put my card down when I was with my ex-boyfriend. I also went on lots of trips.
Wait, what is going on here? So did she go into debt because she was trying to like she did say she was, living above her means, but ma'am, what is going on? Was you spending money on the boyfriend that you said he wasn't talking to you?
My credit card debt is for materialistic items, like me and my roommate would like go to Balenciaga and just like ball out.
Balenciaga. I was not expecting to hear that is not normal.
Nice jewelry. I bought nice furniture. I also bought a bunch of tattoos. I was making irresponsible decisions because I was an irresponsible child, pretty much. But here I am at 22 years old with all this credit card debt. I'm holding on to all of this debt being a distant memory in a year or 2. I will be out of credit card debt. I will be financially free again one day. I know I can do it.
Yeah, I'm wishing her well. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that. She was young, to be fair. Like, she did say her parents didn't teach her financial literacy. She didn't really know how to manage money. So I can only imagine getting $100,000 at the age of 18. However, she got the money, which I'm still curious. How did she do it? Because of how overconsumption is pushed in the society and just not understanding the value of a dollar, I can understand why she went and did all those things. I'm not saying it's right, but I can understand why she did it. She was quite young.
How making internet content starting at the age of 18 got me into $100,000 worth of debt at the age of 22.
Maybe she's going to tell us.
Making a substantial amount of money from the internet when I turned like 19, getting like $10,000 to $16,000 deposited into my account every single month. And that number only grew. I think the most I ever made in 1 month was like $50,000. Being so young was just really reckless with all my money. I didn't want to tell my parents that I was getting this much money because I was afraid of the judgment.
Judgment? Oh, is it what we think it might be? I'm not going to say it. Is it start with the O? My mind was thinking she's like a content creator. Maybe she's in the TikTok fund because there are some people that really have been doing their thing. And that was around COVID time, if I remember right. But now I'm starting to think it might be something else because she said she was afraid of judgment. And I'm trying to understand what judgment she could have been afraid of unless it was a certain type of making money style. I got flustered over my words.
Now no, because I went to the loony bin. They had my phone while I was in the bin. I didn't want to tell my parents that I was getting this much money because I was afraid of the judgment. And they were like, why are you getting deposited like tens of thousands of dollars every single month?
Wait, so she ended up getting help for her mind because something was going on, which I'm not, I'm glad that she got the help. But her parents found out that she was doing something that she didn't think they would approve of when she went to go get the help because they had her phone. Whoa, what is going on? I think it was the OF.
So I was kind of just like making all this money without any guidance. Funny thing is, my oldest brother literally manages trust funds. If I would have told him, probably would have been set for life. I got approved for these super high credit card limits because I had $30,000 to $40,000 deposited into my bank account every single month. And I would just spend like a crazy person. Slowly but surely, the money stopped coming in because I jumped from agency to agency and I just stopped doing it completely. I'm still doing it now, but I stopped getting that income, but I still had the credit cards. I was just not paying off any of my credit card debt. 2025 is gonna be my year. I know it will be.
I was not expecting this video to go the way it did. I thought she was going to say she was a creator. Oh, my mind of innocence.
I'm 22 years old and have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. It definitely affected my mental health. I can remember when I first realized I was in a bunch of trouble. I would open my Chase account. My credit card debt was at like $12,000. I was like, what did I do to myself?
Do y'all see the Erewhon jug right here, or the jar? Erewhon is extremely expensive. They are like a high-priced grocery store where all the rich people in California go to, and they get these high-priced smoothies. The Kardashians have like smoothies named after them and stuff. The fact that she just got this Erewhon jar just casually directly in front of the camera for us to see, and she's talking about all this debt that she was in, is wild.
Did I have that $12,000 credit card debt on Chase, but I also had like $10,000 with Apple Card. For a long time, I felt hopeless. I felt like I was stuck with this credit card debt. For about 6 months, my credit card debt was just sitting there, accumulating interest, and I was doing nothing about it. I would stay in bed a lot. I didn't have healthy coping mechanisms with it. I was literally so blind to it that I would still spend money and just like pretend it wasn't there. Just recently moved apartments and my rent went from $3,200 to $1,200. I was like, okay, this is a perfect time to start tackling this debt. It sucks opening your bank account. I would try to avoid it all the time because I didn't want to see the number. A lot of my anxiety went away when I just fully went in. I looked at all my credit accounts and I made a plan. It's so much better now that I have a plan. Good. And I know exactly how much I owe. Yeah. You're not alone. If you're in debt, so many people deal with the same things. Yeah. Like, don't think that this is life ending. The only way out is through. You really have to just come face to face with it. The more you put it off, the more anxiety you're gonna get. Anyways, this is what I'm having tonight for dinner.
It looks good. I'm glad she know how to cook a meal, because that did look good.
Now I have $81,371 left to pay off. Yeah. Obviously, my biggest debt right now is my car loan. I still owe $52,000. This is my Chase debt settlement payment agreement. I made a payment for $1,126. And more of those to go. I also made a $509 payment for my Apple Card, so I have 16 of those to go. Yeah. I also managed to pay down my Discover card balance. I only have $1,000 left on this one. Good. I still have my student loan, but I honestly can't be bothered. Like, out of sight, out of mind, honestly. So I also managed to save, like, there's probably like $1,300, maybe $1,400 right here. This is strictly my emergency fund. I'm not touching this money. I'm only adding to it. Thank you, Dave Ramsey. Okay. But the good news is my credit score went up.
I'm a little worried about the money just casually being in the videos and her talking about the money again, because people are peopling sometimes. As she's paying off this debt, her credit score is going up, so that's really good.
I'm 22 years old and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name, and I just lost my job to the Palisades fire.
Oh no! Okay, so now she's lost her job? Oh, I gotta see this one.
That was my main source of income.
No!
And we will be closed indefinitely while the Palisades rebuilds. It's really upsetting. It's not just rich people being affected by this. Coworker literally lost his home to this fire. I'm glad that I had a little cash savings saved up. I have about $2,000 saved in cash, so that will hold me over for literally only a month. I live in Hollywood, and we did get an evacuation order.
Hollywood? What? She lives in Hollywood? Do you know how expensive that is? And she sounded like she lived by herself. What is going on? The more videos she keep posting, I'm just like, what is this story? This is the craziest debt story ever.
Sunset Fire. I had left to San Diego at around 7 a.m. just because I was scared. My roommate, though, stayed behind, and she had left once we got that evacuation order. This is my roommate. I fled! But genuinely, this is really devastating. Literally, the whole Palisades is burnt to a crisp. It is disgusting how many people lost their homes.
That is so. First off, I want to say my condolences to everybody that's been affected by the fires out in California. It's been all over the news. It just looked so bad. All of these flames just sweeping out through people's houses and just quite literally destroying everything that they've worked for. It's really sad and very unfortunate. I hope everyone out there is safe, especially if you're in California. Prayers goes out to you all.
I don't know when I'll be returning to work, so this definitely puts a dent into my debt journey. But my heart goes out to the community.
Yeah.
I'm 22 years old and have $100,000 worth of debt. I also just lost my job to the Pacific Palisades fire. I did sign up for unemployment, but they are only giving me $200 a week. I just wanted to take a moment to give my condolences to the entire community of the Palisades. I work in the Palisades Village at Blue Ribbon Sushi, and I just wanted to say that working at Blue Ribbon has been the best time of my life this last year. I met so many people, all the community members, all of our regulars, everybody in the community. Just know that Blue Ribbon Sushi is thinking about you guys. You guys are in our hearts and you have our condolences. I don't think people not from the Palisades understand how devastating this is. The Palisades is such a beautiful community filled with so many good people. Look at the big snow! It's really just horrifying knowing that such a beautiful place like the Palisades is literally gone. I am so blessed to have found that job there. I do not want to find another job. Like, that place is my home. Thank you guys for everything you've done for me. I just feel so blessed to have been a small part of that community. This is not a community I want to leave behind. Like, I know I can't do much, but the second they start letting people up there, if anybody from the Palisades needs help moving things, going through the rubble, let me know. I will be there. I'm 22 years old and I have $100,000 worth of debt to my name. $55,000 of that debt is towards my car loan, while $20,000 of that is towards my credit cards, and $8,000 of that is towards my student loan. I also just lost my job to the Palisades fire. I'm stressing about the Palisades fire taking away my job because if I don't make $3,800 a month, my debt settlement progress will be ruined. I filed for unemployment, but they're only giving me $200 a week. However, I did just receive this text. Thank you to Mr. Caruso and the Blue Ribbon team. It looks like they are going to help us out. So I've redirected the GoFundMe in my bio to help my coworker Kevin, who lost his entire home in the Palisades fire.
She posted this video just 8 hours ago, and it is January 11th, and it's 9 p.m. at night. Yes, I'm tired. This is very sad, very unfortunate to everybody in that situation. Y'all, prayers go out to all of you. I hope that she is still able to pay off her debt. Throughout all of this video, she was detailing how much money she needed to make in order to stay afloat, but losing her job, she's going to have to get another job that pays around that $3,800, I believe she said it was. Even though TikTok is probably going to be banned in about 4 days, I will link her TikTok down below so you all can check her out and see if she has another way for you to follow her debt journey, and also just wish her well during this hard time in her life where these fires are affecting her livelihood. But y'all, let me know what you think about the story down below, and we have to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.